All right. What is up, everybody? What is today? Wednesday? Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are having a good day out there in the world. I got to actually go live real quick on Instagram and freaking where the hell else we're going live. Let's see if we can go live. Connecting stream to go live. All right. So we are out on the internet,
next week, baby.
Etherwebs. Yeah, next week we're going to go talk to Grant Cardone and Brandon Dawson. So we're going to be rubbing elbows with all the rich and famous of Scottsdale, Arizona. So that's gonna be
Texas. Cool. I am Arizona.
In 10X.
I do like this.
I got my hat.
I am 10X, baby.
Stupid headphones on. Cool. So actually, I gotta still try and go live on your Instagram. I don't know why it's not.
Oh yeah, let's do that because I got a decent movement there.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. So log me out. Yeah, whatever. Let's try it again. Oh, crap. Lever decks. Whatever. We're live. All right. So let's see if we can run through some of these questions. I'm going to try and also share it on side of our Mighty Networks. So if you're out there listening or watching, I appreciate you tuning in. Let us know where you're watching. Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We're on all the social medias. Trying to spread the good word. I was listening to Gene. I was listening to one of the videos you did recently, and I loved what you said. You said our job is to help the people get access to the money, right, and then teach them how to use it properly, right? So we believe that the money should be in the people's hands, right, not the government's, not the banks, but in your hands. And we want to help you get access to it, and then we want to make sure you use it correctly, right? I literally spent all day talking about investments and passive income and stuff like that, yeah. And if you see the light, like, how would an extra $3,000 a month, passively help you, right? I'm pretty sure, unless you're an idiot, you would say, oh, that'd be nice, right? It's not going to hurt anything unless you have a bad gambling addiction or something. But then you get other issues, right? But using the money correctly, getting access to the money, changing the way you think about money. That's why we're here. That's what we're doing. That's why we show up every day, right? You got anything else to add on that?
I don't think we're live on my Instagram right now.
No, I don't think it worked. I think I have to log out again or something. It says you are live. It says you are live on Instagram. Let me try.
Does it have to be on? Do I have to log in, or is it not working? I guess it's fine.
No, it should be working. Well, let me look at. We're having technical difficulties. We tried to go live on too many Instagrams, and
is it only one at a time? That's weird.
Well, I think I got logged out of yours when I logged into mine. Maybe. Let me see though.
But yeah, so I'll just as far as being able to create passive income, I think it's important for everybody to understand that passive income is, it's the holy grail, but you have to be able to create it. It doesn't just, happen.
Right.
And you have to be able to leverage, you have to leverage, the banks, you have to leverage people, you have to leverage, your assets in order to create cash flow. And if you don't have existing assets, or if you haven't invested into hard assets or a business or a cash flowing business, or even marketing or anything where you can make money, multiply your money, then essentially all you're doing is you're using your time, your life to make money. Right. And if you're using your time to make money, you're only going to get paid so much money for your time. And I think that's the key here is that, how much is your time worth? Like, do you believe that you're worth, 25, 30, 40, whatever it is an hour, like $50 an hour? Is that what you're really worth? Like $50 an hour is your time. Is that something like that works for you? Maybe if you're living in, I don't know, Montana or some other state like Nebraska.
Montana's even getting expensive. Nebraska, yeah, that'd be high.
Nebraska, maybe, I don't know, Wyoming. What are these? These small.
I actually love Nebraska. I'm gonna go back to Nebraska.
If you're living in like one of these desert states, maybe $50 an hour might get you by, and you might be good, But when it comes to actually what is your time worth? And I think that the time, the money, I don't think you could put a time or a price to your time. Time is priceless, and you can't put a price to your time. So you need to be able to make money without having to work for it. You need to be able to make money work for you. You need to be able to use your current, skill sets or your ability to invest because you made money or you have access to money to be able to create money. And it all starts with that concept, that mentality that you start to realize your time is so important and so valuable that you start to use your time wisely and you don't waste it on a 9 to 5 job, on things that don't matter, on activities that are not productive. Every activity you do every single day should be towards the goals of your goals, your values. And if you're not doing that every day, then you're not really manifesting or creating that life that you want. I think that's really what it comes down to, is the mindset first, and then creating income afterwards. And obviously, there's many ways that we do at Credit Leverage X to help people create passive income or create for the cash flow, multiple ways. And we also help you get access to the money. So if you don't, and then that way you don't have to, work as hard or work as much to get the money, essentially. So it's like, you can choose to continuously do what you're doing, and basically exchange time for money, your precious time, or you can choose to educate yourself and start to, get mentors like ourselves to start to make a difference in your life faster, get on the fast track of changing your life, and then instead of working for your money.
I just want to like scream from like mountaintops or like grab people and fucking shake them, bro. It's like, we figured something out, you bastards. Like, we have a fucking system that gets you money. Like, what are you doing with your life? We have something cool over here. Come fucking take a look at it. And if you understand, fix your credit. Get your credit as high as possible. Get a business. Get as much money from the banks as possible and use that money wisely. And you can do whatever the fuck you want for the rest of your life. You just have to focus and go through this process. Use the money correctly, and your entire life could change. Right? That's what I want to do. I want to grab people and shake them and become one of those crazy homeless people with like the sign that says, I'll get you credit, except for I'll have millions of dollars, right? Yelling at them. Like, you need to wake up out there. Like, it's just frustrating that I have to explain everything so much to people when it's such a cool offer and such a cool product. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I think it's, crazy, but, to think about it, that it's something it's right in front of you, right? Your credit cards, your credit cards you have every single day, right? These cards, these cards right here.
Don't show any numbers. Yeah.
Oh yeah, these cards right here, no numbers. These cards right here are basically your key to success, right? And I mean, like, and people say, oh, I hate the banks. They charge me interest, et cetera, et cetera. Well, yes, you can hate the banks, and you can be the DAC player, which is everybody else trying to become.
The interest rates.
The interest rates are high. I want some money.
Oh,
or you can start to understand how to use money correctly. And you've probably made money over the years. You've probably hustled and tried so many different things, and it just doesn't work out. But you start to realize that sometimes the time that you spend to work is not covering the bills. You're not making enough money to pay off your expenses. You're living day to day. You're living paycheck to paycheck. And some people, I would say, like my tenants, some of them, living
no check to no check.
And I'm employing my tenants now, by the way. So I'm having to
ramen noodle.
Otherwise, I'm gonna, they're gonna go homeless. So I can either choose to kick them out, and which is simple, easy process. Not as easy as in other states, but California, you can do it. You evict them, eviction, but or you can help people, right? I choose to try to help people.
City.
Yeah, I try to help people at the most lowest points in their life. Yeah, and that's where I try to help them and give them the best opportunity and lifestyle by helping them, giving them time. Sometimes they just need time. Sometimes that time doesn't help. It's educating them, giving them the guidance and showing them the way that in order to at least to start to use your money wisely, because have good management skills, start to save your money properly. And then after you have some money saved, then you can actually put the money to work. You can't just take a paycheck and dump it and be broke and not have food and a place to live. You can't just, dump paychecks for what you live. You have to be able to have a sustainable life at a
Yeah.
lowest level, right? I'm talking about the basic life, necessities of life, and then if you don't have that, but you have some money laying around and you're trying to, you can don't just spend it, because when you spend it, you lose it. It's gone. Like,
Right.
you need to put the money into a system, into an operation where it's actually generating you more money. And if you're not doing that, then your money is being expensed, and you're not, you're basically losing your assets, you're losing your money, you're not putting the money to work. And that's where the key is. It's important to become, that savvy investor, or even if you don't care about investing, you just want that passive income, and you want to just be able to, live your day-to-day life and enjoy your life, go travel or spend time with your kids or whatever else. You're tired of just the grind, and you want to just like, have that opportunity to spend your time with things that you love to do. You should put your money to work. And that's something that, up to $3,000 a month of passive income with our programs. And then, if you don't have the money, we get you the money. We can help you do that. If you don't do it on your own, we'll teach you what to do with the money so you don't waste it. And wasting
Yeah.
your money right now, tax season is coming, Robert. So, as we talked about this, what do you think people should do with their tax dollars?
Invest it, right? Invest it or squirrel it away and never think about it again until you fucking need it. So you don't go home with her. Pay Gino rent, right? Nah, yeah, invest it always, right?
Yeah.
I think that makes sense. So let's hop into these questions. Alan, if you're editing, just chop it up to here and let's get after it. We got some good ones that I really want to share with the people. We're going to drop some knowledge. We got some serious wisdom in this loaded little bit. So let's start from the top. Gino, you are the grand emperor bank man. How can you become your own bank? How can you do
Yeah,
it?
this
How
is
can you
this
actually
is my
become your own
favorite
bank?
topic, and I'm still exploring.
Yeah.
There's so many things that to this, like, and so many levels. But the general idea, as an individual, you have a social security number, right? And that social security, just like any entity, if it's a business or a person, you have a, if you notice, your name is capitalized on your social security card, and that that by capitalizing your name, you become an entity, versus just being a human being. So
Right, you're a
whenever you
number.
capitalize your name, you have the entity, and that entity is now a business. It's now considered a business. The United States is a business. So
Right.
what I'm saying is everything is a bank. Any asset is a bank because your money is being stored there. You store your money in these assets, including yourself. You're considered an asset to the United States. You pay them every month, every year, taxes, right? So like you are their cash flow. You know what I mean? If you think about it, you're the cash flow. So why not become the bank? Why
Right.
not become why not be the entity like the United States or any other institution like Bank of America, Chase, Wells Fargo, you name them. They're all entities and they all have cash flow. They have money coming in. They're for profit. Okay. They're not
Mhm.
nonprofit. They're for profit companies. They make money off your money. They lend money and they get money in return. They have these credit cards, like I showed you. These things, make them generate the income, but they have the capital, they have the cash, so they're able to put the money to work in order to create more money. And what the way they do it, and they invest it into things like life insurance and real estate, right? Most banks own life insurance a lot more than they own real estate, because there's only limited amount of real estate in the United States. There's only so much real estate in the United States they can buy, and they're competing with BlackRock, So it's like there's only so much real estate you can buy. So essentially, becoming your own bank means you have to start to use your money instead of just spending it. You start to essentially lend it as a bank.
Yeah.
You lend your money to someone else or another person or another entity that will generate you income, or you spend the money. Excuse me, to say that you invest the money, not spend, invest the money into like an asset, like a hard asset, like a car, real estate, or even a business that would generate you more money. In return, you get your ROI, basically a percentage, right, at the end. So you get a return on your money.
Right.
Same thing with credit cards. That's how the banks do it. When they buy real estate, they expect a specific return on that asset. And you yourself, you're also paying them a specific amount of interest or taxes every year based on the money you make, and they want a piece of it. And that's how you pay Uncle Sam. Same concept with the U.S. and how the government works. It's all about paying the bank, they are the bank in this case. So you need to become the bank. You need to start lending your money. You need to start investing your money and creating cash flow. So the way you do is you have a trust, you have your life insurance, and you have your real estate, and you have credit leverage X or funding, corporate funding, and where we help you get the money if you don't have the money already, and you start to move your money around. And it's a circle of life. The money keeps moving and moving and growing, and you just pull out money as you live. You can pull out money and you live your life. And you never have to make more money because your money is growing, it's multiplying, whether it's in real estate, whether it's in life insurance, whether it's in your business, right? If you have a business, corporate funding is released for businesses. If you have a business that's cash flowing, you make your money work for you, and you're basically, you're creating that infinite loop, especially if you can do it with other people's money. And if you don't, for example, like corporate funding or a business that you create an entity that you're able to get money for because your credit is decent. In the banks, luckily, we have a credit system. We actually get access to money because the banks make money off us. So take advantage of the opportunity to become the bank by investing your money and creating that same loop that the banks have done. And that's how you become a bank. And you become an entity that is now operating on its own, separate from yourself. Now you don't own anything. Everything is owned by the trust, and the trust essentially owns everything. And just like the banks own everything, your trust will own everything, and you are not liable, for any of it. You're basically the trust is liable, and you have insurances that cover you for specific, properties or specific assets that you own, and you start to be able to multiply your money and use your money as a bank and then lend your money. Eventually, you start to lend money out. And you start to, you're able to become a hard money lender. You able to become a credit card. I'm sure, you can have your own credit cards eventually. I don't know if they allow you to do that, but I haven't looked into that far. But I'm sure as an entity, you can probably get credit cards. You can lend people as a line of credit. But as far as loans, you as a person, you have the right to lend out money as a private lender. You can lend out money and create income for yourself. So, or get the money. That's how you become a bank, Robert. It's by being able to take what's already available, what's already happening in the world around you, and how the system is set up, and educate yourself, and just replicate it on yourself.
Right. And I think it's kind of interesting how there's different laws in different states on how much you can lend money. Right. Yeah. In California, I don't think you can do more than 10% on a loan or something like that. Like there's all kinds of crazy stuff, but. Essentially, if you want to become,
they got to limit you somehow. They can't make
right.
You can't be rich, unlimited.
Yeah, well, I'm sure there's like lots of loan sharks and crazy stuff. There's always that one guy that ruins it for everybody else, so it just happens. But becoming your own bank, you have the money, right? Once you have the money, you have the power, and then you lend it out to people at a percent, and you make your money work for you, right? And the more money you can pool, the more money you can bank, the more money you can cash flow, right? All those water words, the more power you can have, and then you can become your own entity, right? You can have your own little Scrooge McDuck vault, you swim in all the cash, right? But more likely than not, most of the banks probably don't even have all the money in cash. I think it's probably, what do you think, 10% of it's actually in cash anymore? It's all just a number in some digital thing somewhere.
Yeah, well, now, soon it's going to be digital, so eventually they don't even have to print it. Yeah. they just tap a number and it's just going to be there. Like, oh, now we have 3 trillion in available in circulation. So no, it comes down to how much do they actually have? And before it was the gold standard, right?
Right.
And now
so there's something backing it.
Now there's really no backing $2. It's like it's a broken system in that sense. Because there's no limit to how much money they can keep printing. So it's like so then essentially it's the same system that you can you're leveraging in this case. The system is there as long as there's no like limit on how much money you can get access to. Now that's basically what it is. But the banks, they don't have all that money in the bank. So that's why when you keep your money in the bank, they love that because that gives them more leverage. They can go and get us. They go to the Federal Reserve and they say, hey, we have this much cash. Give us a note for that, and then they're going to go ahead and lend based on the note that they have. So that
I think I read somewhere it's like for every $1 actually in the bank, they've leveraged it 8 times already over and over.
Yeah, I've heard 9. I've heard 9 times, maybe 10 times.
Probably even more than that. We just don't even know.
Well, now, I mean, but that number keeps going higher. Why? Because of the multiplier. It's like the more debt that the country is in, the more that the more money they're printing, the more money they're lending. The more it's like, and the more that if the people are not paying their debts off, the more debt we go into, and then and essentially that multiplier keeps growing. And the thing is, there's no limit. That's the thing. That's why it's like the only way to bring that down would be to like actually educate the people to use their money wisely, and that's not being done. And that's why we're here. This is why this is so powerful. This is so important. This is so valuable, because the education aspect of it, of really, people are born. I heard this, was it last week? Someone they told me, they say once an adult it turns 8 years old, it's really hard to change them. So the way they spend their money and their time, once they're 8 years old, if they teach them how to spend money and they don't save their money, they don't know how to save, they don't know how to do certain things, their parents didn't teach them the right way to live, those adults are very, very hard to change on a financial level as well, and a personality level, as far as like changing. Actually, I read that book. It was that one book I told you about, but I'll tell you later. And it's long story short, it tells you in there, like 8 years old was the number where adults are basically like not going to change. they're not adults
yet.
Set
in their ways.
They're set. They're set in the way because everything they when a child is born, they grow up, they observe their parents, they observe everything, they absorb everything. And if the way that the parents live, the way that the parents spend their money, the way the parents' habits are transferred through generations. And essentially, you end up having society that how to use money, how to invest, or how to do anything wisely, unless they've been educated and they went to school, that's lost. It's gone. So it becomes a social society where they depend so much on the government that the government is like, well, you might as well just become a socialism. We just be a society of socialism or communism at this point. But at the end of the day, it's like, the capitalism is essentially being pushed out because of the fact that people don't know how to manage their money.
Yeah, it's wild. All right. I think that was good. Become your own bank. Let's move on to the next one. It looks like I misspelled make, but why you should not make only minimum payments on your credit cards. Why should people not make just the minimum payments,
Yeah, I think this is a good one too. We can, you can touch on this. But the reason you want to make more than minimum payments is because if you're just making minimum payments, you're paying interest every single time, and the amount of money that's going towards principal is a very, very small percentage of that total minimum payment.
Right.
You're basically paying, that why do the banks want to give you money? Because they know the first 10 years of any loan or any mortgage, for example, even credit cards, you're paying interest first. Like they're getting paid first before your principal goes down. So your principal it goes down only by a certain amount. But every time you make that payment, the longer you stretch that payment, the more interest you're going to pay. So that's why making minimum payments is one of the most, that is I would say a path to like continuous debt and eventual like homelessness. it's like guaranteed, you're going to end up, if you don't make enough money, you don't pay off your debt, interest is going to drown you. And I've seen this many times in people that have friends, family that I know that have got into debt and they just can't get out. They just have so much debt and they have so much interest on it that it just piles and piles and piles. And it's because they made minimum payments. They never paid down their debt by paying more towards principal. Make your minimum payments, but pay more. That way your principal drops down every single month. So you're paying less interest every single month. If you just pay minimum payments, you're going to basically pay the same amount of interest every single month. And that's going to increase your credit card debt. That's going to increase your overall, personal debt, your loans. Everything just goes up, and you're just going to be in start off. That's why you should not make minimum payments.
Well, same thing with like if you wanted to pay a mortgage down faster, you would make 2 monthly payments a month on the mortgage, right? And like also if you want to like maximize your credit cards, the whole thing that we got pretty good at figuring out when the credit card would report, right? So you figure out when your credit card is going to report, and then you can basically pay it off as soon as it reports, max it out, and then before it reports again, you can pay it off again, right? And that's how you can really start to get points. That's how you can kind of maneuver the system. But if you're just paying the minimum payment, you're pretty much just giving that money to the credit card company, right? You're not really using the money properly. You're not really investing. What's cool with our 0% interest credit cards is it's okay if you just make the minimum payment as long as you've invested that money elsewhere and it's working for you, right? So it has to make sense, has to get you really what you want to get. But if you just spent your credit cards on like groceries and restaurants and the bar tabs and stupid shit, you're basically just like for that beer that you bought for like $10 or whatever, every month you're basically paying another $1 on the beer that you already drank that's gone. You know what I mean? Like instead of just using the money you had. So use your money wisely, pay off your credit cards as fast as you can, unless that credit card is being utilized elsewhere, and then just make the minimum payments, but you're still not really getting ahead or not really doing what you need to do with your credit cards, right?
Yeah.
All right, I think that was good. Why are most people broke? Why is everybody broke? Do you know?
I mean, why did I mean, you talk to broke people all the time.
Dude, I'm a professional.
You probably can answer this better than me, but I think there is a level of a level of misguided, misunderstood, and also uneducated. Education is the key to everything. Education solves. I mean, I'm sorry. Like, I didn't feel like I would become a promoter of education, and I'm talking about every level. But an academic, being, school is not necessarily like what I'm talking about here. Right. I'm not talking about going to school and get educated. I'm not talking about getting a degree. I'm not talking about becoming a specific job or title, or getting a specific job to do a specific thing. I'm talking about why are people broke? Because they are not educated how to manage their money. They're not educated how to use their money. They're not educated to invest their money. They don't have the backbones of a good financial education, and they don't teach us in school. Education is not something that I'm talking about. The stuff that I'm talking about is like, I'm not telling you, hey, this is how you should, value the time, money, and value, which you could learn maybe in an engineering course or economics course. I'm talking about how money works, how money is leveraged, how money is multiplied, and how money is printed by the society that you live in, the country that you live in the world that you live in. Everything is leveraged, and people that are broke. I want to almost say it's not their fault, because they weren't educated by their parents. If their parents probably weren't educated, and at the same time, it's probably the same thing with the current schooling system and how it's not educating people on this. So this is why people are broke, and I really do want to blame the education system, and on top of that, being able and having the generational and mentors. They don't have the right mentors. They don't have the right people around them to give them the guidance.
So I think we kind of lack role models nowadays. I mean, we don't have good money role models. We have like rappers throwing money at people. Yeah. We have like politicians who are greedy and snakes, and we have influencers who don't care about money either.
That's exactly what you said. For the kids, I think role models. Models and the people that they follow, even myself, we all want it to be cool. We all want it to be that rapper or music star, celebrity, or whatever. We all had those those idols that we looked up to, right? But
athletes, actors,
yes. But the thing is, they became who they were because they had talent, or they had some kind of connection or whatever. But they made their millions doing a specific, for example, a musician, or not these, I'm talking about billionaires. I'm talking about like talent people that are like, oh, this guy is like, I really like this guy because he is very talented. But if you don't have any talent, if you're not going to be, for example, like Kobe Bryant in the NBA, and become like the best player, like, Michael Jordan, like these are you don't have talent, like a sports talent, and you don't have like other talents, then you need to find another way. And that's where I think, your idols or your people that you should be looking up to are mentors that are actually doing things in their life that you want to look for. Like, what kind of lifestyle do you want to have? find that person and then follow them and see what kind of lifestyle they're living, so that way you can replicate that.
Yeah. And I mean, like the quote that comes to mind is, everybody's born broke, right? We're all born broke, naked, and screaming, right? That's what they say. But if you die broke, that's on you. I don't fucking care with the education system. I don't care if you grew up in a poor town. Everybody has their struggles. But the reasons that you don't take action or opportunity, that's on you, right? And sure, the education may have failed you, but there comes a point where you have to take responsibility for your life and take action. You know what I mean? And then the other thing, that I was kind of thinking, it's like America, or I don't know why it's happening, but we're kind of having this victim mentality, right? And the victim mentality is spreading, and it goes back to kind of the crazy conspiracy theory where, like if a celebrity commits suicide, there's like twice or three times or four times as many suicides that like week because they see somebody on TV, right? And then now with all this woke culture bullshit, we're promoting weak men, or promoting, scandalous things and negative stuff and horror films and all sorts of like negative things. And it does affect us on like a psychological level. And we all become victims. We all think, oh, I can't do this or I can't do that. And the only reason you can't do something is because you fucking think that, right? It's a limiting belief, right? So we're promoting too much victim mentality. But it's also like from the moment that we're born in America, at least, we're like programmed to be consumers, right? We're supposed to buy all the fucking cereals. You know what I mean? We're supposed to watch all the cartoons. We're supposed to just consume. And there's not enough, people promoting like you have to work hard, right? And there's not enough of like good old fashioned people anymore. It's all, everybody thinks they're going to get rich off like Bitcoin and tech and stuff. When in reality, let's just start by, can you read a book? Can you sweep the floors? Can you do the work? Right? So I think there's a lot of reasons why people are broke, but I think it just mostly comes down to having the wrong mindset and limiting beliefs and then not taking any action. Right. And then the other thing is like we go to school, right? And the mentality is they have to raise their hand to ask a question, right? You have to raise your hand to go to the bathroom. You have to raise your hand to answer something. And it's like now their whole lives, they're waiting for someone's approval for them to do something, right? They're like, hey, can I start a business? Waiting for someone to pick them, waiting for someone to grab them by the hand and take them, when in reality, you have to be the one that starts that shit, and they don't do that. They don't take action. And then it's getting even worse for like even the younger generation, like they don't even have the ambition and they don't care to do the things, right? They're just going to live off of their parents' credit cards and sleep on couches and shit until shit hits the fan. And then maybe some of them will wake up and take action, or some of them will just become a homeless person on the streets, right? It's like, I don't know what's going on with people. People are weird. The human concept, right? But if you don't want to be broke, save your money, work fucking ridiculously hard, and educate yourself, right? And take action. It's pretty simple. Like all these people that owe you rent, like what are they doing all day? How do you go a whole month without doing anything? Like have you watched all of Netflix? Like what's next? Like what are you gonna do with your life? Like go at least sell lemonade or flip something or have some ambitions. You know what I mean? It's just all too many do nothings in the world, man. I don't think God created people to do nothing. I think God created people to do stuff. Make something happen, create something, build something, be creative. Even if it doesn't make you money, at least make something cool.
Be creative. And that's why I think the creativity and even in the life of like, just real quick, is like creativity in general, like. In the industries, like where I was, my industry, or any industry, I think, being a lawyer, a doctor, whatever industry you're kind of like bounded by these specific rules and guidelines. So you don't have that much creativity to move around with. You can't really be creative, like there was one time just, there was a topic about how we can make, for example, how can we get out of Earth or travel to the moon faster? Or how can we do it so it's more efficient? Like how it costs so much money to travel to the moon. So how can we make it more effective and more efficient? Well, I raised my hand and I said, because that's what you got to do at work. You got to raise your hand. You raise your hand, and I said, hey, I was like, I got an idea. And then and I wasn't being a smart ass. I was being realistic at the time, and I'm still realistic at the time. I said, why don't we innovate anti-gravitational pull and be able to levitate to that direction instead of using, you know, fuel and gas and propulsion. Why don't we take more of a nurturing approach, not a masculine approach? We blow shit up and, you know, destroy shit. More of a nurturing
Right.
approach. Use the magnetic pole and just push this thing out. And which is what, you know, what UFOs kind of like, you know, that are flying around, and people are saying, oh, there's UFOs in the world now.
Yeah.
That technology exists.
Right.
It exists, and it uses a very, very nurturing methods of traveling. You know, and what I'm saying is, like, being
Harmony
able to go
with
to
the
the moon, you
universe.
can make it efficient, but the idea of that, out of mind, out of body, out of, like, the idea of talking about, what are you talking about, anti-gravitational? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, what do you think Einstein? What do you think, you know, Aristotle? What do you think all these people, you know, Pythagoras? What do you think they did all day? They thought of different ideas, and they pursued them, and they determined they were real.
Right.
Like, they found different concepts. Physics. Where do you think physics came from? They determined what natural law is, and they defined it with, you know, with signs and symbols. Just like Isaac Newton, when he sat down next to a tree and a ball hit him, or an apple hit his head, and he had an idea. That's a metaphor for an idea. So it's, you know, I'm getting a little off topic, but basically, it's the innovative aspect is gone.
Right. Also, people just don't think anymore. They don't really use the thing between their ears as a device. They're based on emotion, and they go off animal instinct, and that just makes you an animal.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, creativity, the young child, the young kid that was creative and would,
Right.
you know, play with things is gone, and that's what's sad. So that's why people are broke, because they don't have that creative, this drive anymore.
Yeah. Well, and they probably just don't love themselves enough to try anymore. You know,
Yeah,
they've been beaten down, and they gave up on themselves.
giving up on themselves. Yeah, don't give up. We're here
Don't
to
give
help
up.
you.
That is the truth. Your
Yeah, don't give
financials
up.
are worth saving, right?
A perfect question, Robert. What are the best investments in 2024? This, like,
Yes.
for this year, what would you put your money, if you had to bet your, you know, your life on it, if you have to bet your, you know, your future on it, your wife, your kids, your future, you know, your whatever it is, you know, your girlfriend, like, your life is on it, right?
Yeah.
That's what would you bet on it? And your parents, for example, how would you take care of your parents? What would you invest your money in?
I'd buy a bunch of Trump hats and go sell them to all the rednecks around my fucking building. I know they're gonna sell, bro. I know they're gonna sell. No,
Yeah,
I
right
mean,
now is the
I'm
season.
not. No, right now that the best investments are recession-proof investments, right? I'm really thinking starting of like security cameras, security companies, stuff like that. I mean, I'm leaning really heavily into the affluent. You want to help. You want to find rich people problems, and you want to create a business around them. And the best thing, like we were talking about earlier, you need property management, right? You need security. You need, just basically the normal necessities. But you have to stop catering to the poor, because the poor are going to get poorer. The rich are going to get richer, and the rich don't care about price tags, but they care about quality. So at the end of the day, people like nice shit, right? People like nice things. Make something really stand out. Make world class, brilliant work, right? I mean, personally, what I'm investing in, and I have like basically my whole retirement plan is like now investing into making my own little businesses. But I've been working on this craft for 10 years now, you know, so I'm doubling down on what I can understand and what I can fully control, which is, you know, online coaching, marketing, content, and my own ability to make shit happen and to coach people and to change people's lives. So in 2024, the best investment I would say is cater to rich people, old people, you know, boomers. They've got all the money. They're not dying right now, but they need help. They don't want to go to the grocery store. Their stuff is breaking. They need retirement plans. They need stuff, right? And then also invest in what you've been doing and what's gotten you this far. What's something that if you look back on has time and time again come through for you and made you money, right? Just double down on what's already been working in the past. But thinking recession proof is a good idea. And when I think of recession proof, you know, what is going to be around no matter what? Like if your pipes in your house break, you're going to pay the plumber, right? Maybe start a lead generation company that finds leads for plumbers, right? Tap into the bare necessities of reality, and I would go for there. But other than that, marketing, media, I'm excited for the housing market to fucking collapse or do something wild and give us an opportunity to pick up a bunch of cheap houses, but
Yeah.
I don't think it's time right now. I think the markets are at an all-time high. So the only time you're going to make money is day trading, not really long-term investing. I don't feel like long-term investing is safe. But double down on your skills, double down on your brand, your reach. The future is going to be built off of relationships. So build relationships massively and improve your name, right? So what do you think, though? What are the best investments for you for 2024?
Yeah, that's good. I think you opened my eyes on a few of these, which is marketing and sales, but and coaching as well. So, but for me, it's always been the same stuff that got me where I am today, and it's basically first for me was real estate, right? Real estate is my first, and owning real estate is my baby. It's my cash cow. It's continuously growing, and it's undeniable. Number one. Number two, I would say creating cash flowing businesses, just like you said, creating businesses. For me, besides the real estate, rentals, car rentals, things that I enjoy. I think I can make money off. I can rent stuff, and that business has a lot of potential, different ways you can rent things, and also being able to create. I would say like cash flow when it comes to investing in assets like in today's age, you want to buy businesses that have been around for so long that they're so boring, right? But they still make money, right? So the hard assets are those businesses. Cash flowing businesses are always going to be the secret sauce for long term wealth. And then being able to now for me is what's a good investment. I would say being able to put money in assets that grow, that appreciate, whether it's in life insurance, for example. Like now it's for me like, well, I want to put my money in life insurance because that appreciates and it grows, and I can take tax-free dollars against it. So it's like it's game changer. So now I don't even want to buy anything other than life insurance. Other than life insurance is like life insurance and real estate, and are the best investments. Besides businesses, and 2024 and on and forever. And that those are the two appreciating assets that will always, you're never going to lose. So that's why I would do that.
I like
And
that.
since I started was real estate, now I got life insurance coming. So it's like now it's two things, and I get to play with that. And I like to play with things that I can always make money on and leverage.
And I think, like, if I summarize what I was saying before, what I want to invest my money in 2024 are digital businesses, and then paying people to run them for me and do all the work for me, right? So it's all about leverage. But I have an advantage. I have an edge in that niche because I've been doing it forever, right?
You have experience.
It's all finally like clicking, and I see like this web of businesses that I'm going to be able to build and scale, obviously with your help, and it's just exciting to me. So that's what I want to put on my money.
It's going to be, it's amazing. The future is bright, and Credit Leverage X, our economy is thriving. Whatever happens in the world around us, if you're not in Credit Leverage X, we can't help you. So we can't change your life. We can't, your economics are not affected by us. We control our economics. So that's why we have a community. We have a economy of our own. And that's the beautiful part. So back to, the questions. Why are Americans struggling with all the opportunities that we just talked about? Why are Americans struggling and are not able to capitalize on these opportunities or even take action, Robert?
Right. Well, I mean, we'll address the elephant in the room. Everything's fucking expensive right now. Everything is very, very expensive. So you got to make a ungodly amount of money, and most people have not put in the work and the effort to know how to make outrageous amounts of money. Right? Me and you are blessed in that factor that we've spent many, many a moons fucking brainstorming and trying shit and failing and getting back up and keep on trying shit and figuring out how can I make a shitload of money, right? Some people just aren't built that way. Some people are not built to want to get outside of their comfort zone or want to make a shitload of money. Like, sure, some people say they want it, but then their actions show otherwise, right? So why are most Americans struggling? Because everything is really expensive and they've never put in the time in themselves, in their business, in their knowledge or know-how or actions to actually make enough money to get ahead. And then now when shit is getting expensive and it's hitting the fan, they're struggling, right? They didn't see the light. They didn't see the writing on the wall. They didn't prepare. Noah's Ark, it's freaking raining.
Yeah.
Everybody's drowning. You didn't build your boat, right?
Yeah.
So that's one reason.
That's a good point. I would agree with you on that. Definitely, things are expensive. Americans are going to struggle, and I would say, excuse me, I would say that there is a level of like struggle, and like just innate, like inherited struggle. It's like Americans like are always like complaining, inherently struggling. Like whenever you come to America, everything is expensive. Things are going up, and then that people are not making enough money. So you're always, most Americans are complaining about that. Like they're complaining instead of taking action.
Yeah.
And
So
I
they're
think,
like, oh, my boss should pay me more.
yeah, my boss, or complaining about this, complaining about traffic, complaining about the rent, complaining about water, gas, whatever it is. There is always a complaint, and I think that's they're focused on the negative versus the positive, and essentially to set it clear. Right. They're focused on the negative. Things are expensive. I can't make enough money. I can't afford this. I can't pay this for my kids. I can't send my kids to college. I can't do this. I can't.
Yeah, they just throw their hands up.
And just give up. And then this is come take me out. We might as well put me in the grave. Call it a day. And that's why I said most Americans are actually they're like not to disrespect anybody, but most people are already dead. And they're still living.
Right.
There's the zombies of people living. They're literally dead. They're dead. They're dead humans. They're dead in a sense that they don't have any drive. They don't have any ambition. They don't have any desires. They don't have any light. Like the light that was in them has been diminished, and because of their life process or whatever they went through. And I think that's where the change needs to come in. The flick of light, the spark that that I intend to put into every individual that I can. That I ever touch and see and feel that's around me, I intend to affect them in some way, shape, or form. And that means being able to realize that, there is light, there is a chance, there is an opportunity, but it's on you to take action. And I'm talking about massive action, like taking a big leap of faith on yourself and believing yourself, as I've done, as Robert has done for ourselves. You have to, and we will push you to make sure you do that. In our coaching program, we do that for everybody. On top of that, we want, if you're not in the program still, you're following us, listening to us, this is what it's about, taking action. And then when you take action, the person that does something versus a person that doesn't or complains instead of taking action and finding a solution versus complaining, look at the positive, focus on the positive, and then take action, proper action. You will definitely, instead of complaining about the prices, make more money. Instead of complaining about
sell more money,
gas prices, eggs, find a way to make more money. Right. Don't let the economy drive you or your family in a situation where you cannot afford your lifestyle or afford the basic necessities of life. You are, if you can't do it alone, get the help you need. Find the right mentors, find the right people that are going to give you that support and methods to be able to create money. And if you don't trust other people, research them, research us, find out more about us, who we are. Research us before you even talk to us. I want you to know who we are and what we do and how what our history and what we've accomplished and what we've done in our lives and who we represent and what we represent as individuals. Before you even book on me or Roberts or anybody else's coaching program, research those people, find out what they've done in their life, then join their programs or learn about it. Don't just do it blindly just because you want to get into real estate or you want to get into business. Do it because that the person that you're going to be coached by has done something that you want to do or that you want to be able to create. And on top of that, be able to create money instead of having to do it on your own. You have to be able to create money. And by having the right mentors, taking action is going to make that difference versus just sitting around on the sidelines, hoping that someday someone or something is going to change and your money is going to make, your money's going to be able to pay for the bills. And that's why I think struggling. And also the mentality, I want to say, Robert, a lot of people that were, again, not to offend anybody, that were born in this country. I was not born in this country. People that are born, they're kind of spoiled. They've been in a country where they're used to the McDonald's and Subway and whatever else is around, like food, big shopping centers. There's food everywhere. There's no like level of like, oh my God, like there's like I don't have food at home. Oh my God, like I don't have water at home. Like these are the things that are happening in other parts of the world, and Americans don't get to see that, and they don't appreciate what they have. People that come to this country, that have worked hard, and the immigrants that have come to this country that have done something valuable. These individuals took this opportunity and ran with it. I mean, literally, like myself and other people, like I'm sure Patrick Bet-David. I'm sure a lot of foreigners that have got here and became multimillionaires. And have done something tremendous because they've taken action because they seized the moment, they seized the opportunity, and that's why Americans need to wake up, like wake the fuck up. I don't know how else to say it. Robert said in the beginning he wants to grab you and just shake you. Well, I'm gonna fucking cuss you out, and then and do it in many ways. And I'm gonna tell you, it's on you to fucking change. If you don't fucking change, you're born in this country. To me, yeah, you're not an American because you're not taking the opportunity to take advantage of the fact that you have this that nobody else in the world does, but you living in this country. So if you don't like this country, get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Right? You don't like this country, get out. But if you do love this country and you do want to make a difference, then take action and stop complaining.
Yeah. Be the difference as opposed to being the problem.
That's my final statement to the American people.
Court is adjourned. Yeah.
Take action. Be the example. At least be the example that you want to see in the world, and take action. Be a decent person. A topic that went up at my lodge was civility. We don't live in civility anymore. We don't give each other the respect the respect each of us deserves. And then when the civility is there, then there can be relationships. But if you cannot respect somebody to even have a conversation with them, then you cannot do business with them. You cannot live with them. You cannot do anything. So you have to have civility in the world. Civilization is based on our ability to be civilized and to have debates and topics and discuss things that are going to bring us to a common goal. And whenever we walk out of that conversation, both of us have an understanding and have agreed to compromise in some way, shape, or form, and are able to move forward. If we cannot do that, then America, unfortunately, where it's at right now, is an uncivil rest state, and that's what needs to change. And then we need to become civil and be able to support each other versus becoming this separate left side, right side. I don't want to get in politics, but this whole concept of like separation of like different ideas. We need to come together and be able to work together as one unity, as one nation, as United States of America, right? United, not separated. So I think that's important, and I think that's why we need to do that. And this is especially at the time right now with the country where it's at and the elections. I think it's a good statement to say this is why Americans are struggling.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of it. There's so much to unpack. Mental illness. Everybody's alone nowadays. They just like live on their phone and they don't know what reality is, right? So then when you start to lose connection with reality, this online fucking world, nothing is real. That's why credit card debt goes up, because it doesn't feel like real money for people.
Yeah.
There's just a lot of things that we need to work on as a people, and I think it all comes back down to like, master yourself first. You can't really help anybody else if you're out of control. Figure out what makes you happy, what makes you whole, what is something you can contribute to society, and then find your people, and then do the best that you can in the world. Right? Try.
Absolutely.
Don't half-ass it. You know what I mean? That's kind of what
I like that. Don't half-ass it. Don't half-ass
it. All right. I think we're good. And that's America, stay beautiful. Figure it out. Let's get after it. Join Credit Leverage X. If you really need to take control of your finances, improve your credit score, get access to money, and create passive income or massive income, creditleveragex.com. Book a call, send us a message. Talk to you soon. Peace.